Hey, folks, Wednesday James here to tell you a story about a song that I once wrote. This is a story that's going to involve TV miniseries adaptations, jokes on live albums, and Nashville-era Willie Nelson. How's it going, everybody? It's Wednesday James, time for another What's Up With That Song Wednesday. Today we're going to talk about my song, I'm a Stranger Here Myself. So let's begin in the 1980s. Like you do. I was a child of the 80s, in the mid-1980s, there was a fairly odd, to my memory, TV miniseries reworking of Alice in Wonderland. Had just a ton of people of note in it, in various cameo roles. Like I remember Ringo Starr being a mock turtle for some reason. Early on in the picture, Alice, and we didn't have cable as a kid, but we did tape a lot off TV, so we had like just stuff you see a ton of times when you're a child because you have nothing else going on really because you're a child. So early on, Alice is in water and she's lost. Obviously, is the whole story of Alice in Wonderland, which I'm not going to relate the full thing to you now. If you don't know it, I don't know, go engage with the world a little bit better. But anyway, she's trying to figure out where she's lost. She doesn't know where she is, and there's all these people dressed as animals swimming past her. Yeah, all the animals are people in animal costumes, because 80s TV miniseries. I have the kind of neurodivergence in brain where certain phrases spoken by certain people will just echo around the inside of my head for the rest of my life. So at one point she's trying to figure where she's going, and Donald O'Connor, who of course I know from my top 5 all-time favorite film, Singing in the Rain. Donald O'Connor is a bird of some kind swimming past, and she's asking him where she is or something, and he turns and says, "I'm a stranger here myself." And that phrase has just knocked around my head since I was a kid. I don't know why. So, flash forward to, let's call it 2018-ish. Could be 2019. My memory for dates is bad. My memory for almost everything is bad, but dates especially. So I'm puttering around the house. I'm in Catskill, New York, where we lived at the time, and I'm playing guitar, and I'm sort of writing or trying to think, whatever. And I'm thinking about, I've got this little looping progression that's very, very driven by Willie Nelson, circa 1964. I'm thinking about sad songs and waltzes. I'm thinking about that kind of country waltz. Dun, 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 dun. I'm writing a song all about you, a true song as real as my tears. I'm thinking of the bridge where it goes to that interesting major 2 chord, which is a really nice odd change, or 6, I guess. Anyway, doesn't matter. My theory's gone all to hell. I don't care anymore. It's a 2. Yeah, it's a major 2. Anyway, a lot of those Willie Nelson country songs from the 60s and early 70s have that kind of, that bridge is 4, 1, 2, 5, but the 2 is major just to give it a little bit of an odd, feel. So I'm playing around with that and kind of thinking and humming to myself and kind of thinking what this is going to be about and whatever else. And I'm remembering as I'm sitting there, I had been listening earlier that day to one of the all-time great live albums, Townes Van Zant's Live at the Old Quarter, which is just a Townes and a guitar for 2 discs, and in 1972 or 3, and he's just at the peak of his powers, such as they are. Townes has never been much of a singer, but just an absolutely spectacular songwriter. And I'm thinking about a joke that he told, because the whole thing is there's a little bit of banter about the songs, but it's mostly just songs. And they're Townes Van Zandt songs. They're sad as fuck. And he's just writing these absolutely devastating songs, and then just punctuates them with just straight up jokes, which is a really kind of a nice way to do your show, I guess. A nice way to lighten the mood a little bit. So I'm thinking about this joke off the Townes Van Zandt record, which I will relay to you now. And the joke is that there are 2 drunks standing outside of a bar arguing in the street. And a 3rd drunk walks out of the bar, and the 1st drunk grabs him and says, "Buddy, thank God you're here. Thank God you're here. I need you to be the voice of reason. This guy's got his head up his ass. You've got to help me convince him of the truth. okay? It's really important. You're the deciding vote. So you got to tell us, okay? It's really important. You got to tell us. Is that the sun up there or the moon? And the third drunk says, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not from this neighborhood. Not a great joke, to be fair. But so I was sort of thinking about that, and I was thinking about Willie Nelson doing, country waltzes. And somehow Donald O'Connor just popped into my head, and suddenly, so you're searching, you've lost your way, the world is lurching, the skies are gray. I'd love to help, but I'm a stranger here myself. And it's, it kind of like that suddenly just all clicked into place. And sort of, I've never really felt like I belong anywhere. I don't have like a home to speak of. Like, it's kind of Philly, it's kind of Western New York, it's getting to be a little bit Austin, but like, there's nowhere where it's like, that's my home, that's my base, that's where I'm from, that's where like everything's like, I don't ever feel like I've had that kind of root or that kind of lock into any place. So kind of anywhere ever that I go, I sort of perennially feel like, well, I'd love to help you, but I don't really know what I'm doing here either. Like I'm a stranger here myself. So the song just developed from there, and at that stage, once you've got kind of a form in mind, which is that sort of country waltz thing, and you've got your hook, now it's just fill in the blanks to some degree. I think I wrote 5 verses all told, and then I tossed 2 of them because they weren't that good. I maybe kept the wrong ones. Your mileage may vary, who knows? But it's just it's a sweet little song that I really love to play and don't get to do as often as I'd like. Partly because it's up on Capo 7. I don't play a whole lot of songs on Capo 7. Side thought. Since I've been doing this job the way that I've been doing this job for as long as I've been doing it, I have sort of begun to just sort of functionally structure everything in my head based on capo position. When you do 3-hour cover shows, I don't want to tune all the time, and like changing from, capo 2 to capo 3, you got to tune at least once just to make sure everything is still lined up. So like, I'll just try to stay on capo 2 for as long as I can, just like how, kind of it helps me kind of keep focusing where songs are. I have a rough live show based on the idea of where my capo is at any given time, and I can sort of, someone has a request, move the capo, tune it. Now I'm on 4, let's play there for a while, whatever. So because I wrote the song on capo 7 for some reason, I don't play it as often because I don't have very many other songs that are capo 7, so I don't find my way up there too often. I do play a pretty good Romeo and Juliet by Dire Straits with a capo on 7, but how often does that come out in public either? So it's not a song I play a ton. When I was initially thinking that I was going to do a folk record at home, like a bedroom folk record, I had quiet hopes that I would cut this tune and find a way to put it in front of Willie and get him to play guitar for it, because that would be super rad. I would still love to do that. I kind of abandoned the folk record at home because I have neither the equipment, nor the space, nor the engineering skills to get a good acoustic recording by myself. So I'm playing around with some other stuff that's not acoustic based, which you'll hear about eventually, I imagine. But so I don't have anything I don't have this song built in any kind of real way. But should anybody who watches this have any way to know how to get hold of Willie and see if he wants to play some guitar for it, I will make it happen. If we can do that, that would be pretty rad. But yeah, it's sort of, it's my little ode to Willie Nelson, little ode to Townes Van Zandt telling jokes, and also to my sort of general isolation and discomfort with anywhere that I go. Fun. But yeah, sometimes they just come. It's also maybe the 3rd or 4th song I've written that references the Shakespeare play Romeo and Juliet, not for nothing. If the sun or the moon should appear with the lark or the nightingale you hear, is the moon, is the lark, is the nightingale, is it morning, is it night conversation that they have when they're trying to fit in one more one more grappling before they have to separate apart again, so that they don't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I like to drop in a little bit of language here and there, just because I know this stuff. It's all bouncing. Again, it's all just bouncing around my head. So as I'm trying to decide, is it the sun? Is it the moon? Is it the lark? Is it the nightingale? That's the reference right there. So the joke did half the work for me. Yeah, that's just sort of how I write sometimes, is just you stumble onto a couple of things, something clicks, and then you just kind of keep going. I think I kept the right verses. I don't recall what the wrong ones were, so I won't ever know, I suppose. But yeah, I am quite fond of this song. I'm quite proud of it. I think it's one of the better ones I've written in my later years so far. And I hope that you'll like it. So now, without further ado, I'm a stranger here myself. See you next week. So you're searching, you lost your way. The world is lurching, skies are gray. I'd love to help, but I'm a stranger here myself. Don't know where you thought you were going. If you got turned around by the growing, I'd love to help, but I'm a stranger here myself. You were young when you last had a clue. You got older and you don't know what to do with all the hours you whiled away, and all the things that you couldn't say. I'd love to help, but I'm a stranger here myself. If the sun or the moon should appear, or the lark or the nightingale we hear, you say you're searching, you've lost your way. The world is lurching, skies are gray. I'd love to help, but I'm a stranger here myself. Yes, I'd love to help, but I'm a stranger here myself.